Hey guys, in this video I'm going to show you the easiest way to remember exact trig values for the 8 basic or reference angles. And you don't need to use your hands or remember a table of values. All you need to remember is 2 basic triangles and 1 circle. I'm going to spend a minute or two covering the theory that you need to know, and then I'm going to go through some examples. Now the first triangle that you need to remember is the 45-degree triangle, or the pi on 4 triangle. And the length of the sides of this triangle is going to be 1 root 2. The second triangle that you need to remember is the 30 and 60 degrees triangle. And in radians, this is going to be pi on 6 and pi on 3. The length of the sides of this triangle is going to be 1, 2, and root 3. And so whenever you need to find the exact trig values for any of these 3 basic angles, you would refer to one of these triangles, and then use SOHCAHTOA to work out the trig value. And SOHCAHTOA, as you guys should already know by now, means that the sine of an angle is equal to the opposite length divided by the hypotenuse, and the cos of the angle is equal to the adjacent length divided by the hypotenuse, and the tan of an angle is going to equal the opposite length divided by the adjacent length. And that's it for the 2 triangles. Now you also need to remember 1 circle. This is going to be the unit circle, but you don't have to remember every single angle. All you need to remember are the angles on the axis and its corresponding coordinates. And so these are going to be the angles 0 and 2 pi, which is going to have the coordinates 1, 0, the angle pi on 2 with the coordinates 0, 1, the angle pi with the coordinates minus 1, 0, and the angle 3 pi on 2 with the coordinates 0 and minus 1. The reason you need to know the coordinates is because the x-coordinate is going to be the value of the cos of that angle, and the y-coordinate is the value of the sine of that angle. So for instance, the cos of pi is going to equal minus 1, which is the x-coordinate of this angle, and the sine of pi is going to equal 0, which is the y-coordinate of this angle. And so whenever you're asked to find any of these 5 angles, you would use the coordinates on this unit circle. And that's it for the theory part. And here's the thing, without knowing the exact values for these 8 basic angles, you're going to find it really hard to work out exact trig values for any other angles. And as a whole, you're going to find the topic of trig or circular functions quite difficult, as everything kind of comes back to these basic angles. So make sure that you remember these 2 triangles and 1 circle. Anyways, let's look at some examples now. Part A. We need to state the exact value of tan of pi on 3. And so looking at the triangle with the angle pi on 3, we know that the tangent of an angle is equal to the opposite length divided by the adjacent length. And so the opposite length to the angle pi on 3 is equal to root 3. And the adjacent length is 1. And so tan of pi on 3 is going to equal root 3. Part B. We want the exact value of cos of pi on 4. And so looking at the triangle with the angle pi on 4, we know that the cos of an angle is equal to the length of its adjacent side divided by the length of the hypotenuse. And so the length of the adjacent side of the angle pi on 4 is equal to 1, and the hypotenuse is root 2. And so cos of pi on 4 is equal to 1 on root 2. Part C. Sine of pi on 6. Looking at the triangle with the angle pi on 6, we know that the sine of an angle is equal to the length of the opposite side divided by the hypotenuse. And so the opposite length of the angle pi on 6 is equal to 1, and the hypotenuse is 2. And so sine of pi on 6 is equal to 1 on 2. Part D. We want the exact value of cos of 0. The angle 0 lies on the axis, and so looking at the coordinates where the angle is 0, the x-coordinate is going to be the value of cos of 0. The x-coordinate is 1, and so this means that the cos of 0 is equal to 1. Part E. Sine of pi on 2. Again, the angle pi on 2 lies on the axis, and so looking at the coordinates, this is 0, 1. And we know that the y-coordinate is going to equal the sine of the angle, and so the sine of pi on 2 is going to equal 1. And for part F, we want the tan of pi on 4. Looking at the triangle with the angle pi on 4, we know that the tangent of this angle is going to equal the opposite length divided by the adjacent length. And so this is going to be 1 on 1. And so this is also going to be 1. And that's it for this video. I hope you found it helpful, And if you did, click on the like button or comment below and let me know your thoughts. Be sure to watch my other videos where I go through some examples on how to find the exact trig values for various other angles. Good luck, and I'll see you guys in the next video.